Assalamualaikum, my name is Rihhaadatul binti Hisham. This video will cover knotting that have been learned in class. First one is square knot or reef. First, hold one rope in your left hand and the other one in your right. Pass the right working end over and under the left standing part, which means right over left. And now take the new right end and pass it over and under the other, which means left over right. Now pull both standing parts tight to look neat. Second one is single sheet band. First, make a small U-shaped bight with a thicker rope. Take the thin rope's working end, pass it up through the bight from the underside. Wrap the thin rope around the outside of the bight. Tuck the thin working end under its own standing part. Pull tight. Then this is the single sheet band. Third one is about double sheet band. It is the same as the previous one. Make a bight in the thicker rope. Pass the thin working end through the bight. Wrap it around the bight twice. Second turn around the bight. Tuck the thin end under itself and tighten. Now we have a double sheet band. The fourth one is single bowline or simple loop. First, make a small loop in the standing part. Pass the working end up through the hole. Then wrap the working end around the standing part. Bring it back down into the hole. And now pull the loop and standing part to tighten. And here's the bowline. The fifth one is clove hinge. First, pass the working end around the pole once. Cross over the standing part and pass it around the pole a second time. Slip the working end under the last wrap and pull tight. So this is a clove hinge knot. The sixth one is two-turn bowline or double bowline. First, we have to form the initial loop as before. Instead of one wrap around the standing part, make two wraps with the working end around the standing part. Then pass the working end back down to the original small loop, tighten and dress the knot. So this is a more secure bowline. The next one is figure of 8. First, make a loop in the rope. Pass the working end around the standing part and then back through the loop you have made. Pull both ends to dress the knot into a clear egg shape. Now this is the figure of 8 stopper. Now this is about figure 8 on a bight or figure of 8 loop. Fold the rope to make a bight, which means double rope. Then make a figure 8 with the double rope, which means loop and thread the bight through the form, the egg shape. Tighten so the loop is firm. You now have a strong figure 8 loop. Last but not least is about from single figure of 8 to figure of 8 loop. First, untie the single figure of 8 and fold the rope to make a bight. With the bight, tie a figure of 8 knot as before, making the loop at the end. Just follow the shape of 8. And now, tighten and dress the knot neatly. Now you have a figure 8 loop instead of a stopper.